G'day and welcome to SC Playbook NBA podcast number 3. I don't know exactly when we're going live, but I'll tell you what, it can't be more than a few days till the season kicks off, mate, and it's going to be massive.
It's going to be a big one. Like I said, I've got all of the preseason games under my belt now, and so I'm waiting with bated breath.
Ready to roll, which is great. Now, that being said, we have recorded slightly early. So if there is an injury in a late preseason game, that's what happened. But that's okay. We're just fitting everything we can in for the preseason.
That's it.
And we might try to do some sort of update, certainly on WhatsApp group. We'll obviously have updates on any injuries and late mail and the rest. But if we can fit in another podcast, I don't know, maybe a short one from home. We'll see what's happening. It's all new this. There's a lot of sport getting around, so we'll see what we can do. But before we get into it, because we got your team revealed tonight, mate, and I'm looking forward to it. I want to tell you what's in store for SC Playbook NBA this season. It's everything you've come to expect at SC Playbook across NRL, cricket, EPL, and the NFL networks. Weekly podcasts recorded from the Bloke Studios can be found on YouTube and Apple or Spotify. Team of contributors producing tons of articles on the website throughout the preseason and obviously season proper now. You'll find us across all social channels, Insta, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok at SC Playbook NBA. So jump across and please give us a follow because it all helps. We'll also have all the subscription content as per our other sports, including the WhatsApp chat, which we'll start to really get amongst now that it's really getting alive, including community trade chat, late mail, team news, and a heap more. It's $2 a week. It's actually less than $2 a week, so that gets you access to the entire network of sports. So you can rip into whatever you like there. It's pretty cheap, I reckon.
Bang for your buck.
Brother Tim is doing a good thing, so get into it if you're interested. To subscribe, head to scplaybook.com.au. Find the option in the menu. Sumsky, SC Playbook Unlimited League. Talk to us.
You can take on the SC Playbook team for a chance to win $1,000 in cash. We're giving away $1,000 to the top-ranked subscriber that can knock us all off. If a non-subscriber wins, it's $500 winner, $500 to the top-ranked subscriber, and the league code is 142510.
Very good, mate. Let's get straight into it, hey? We've got plenty to get through.
Topic
one for the night. Who are the early season avoids, in my opinion, anyway? And you can talk to me about it.
Fire away.
This is, again, it's based on schedule. It's all based on schedule, especially early season, because we want to maximise our points. And there's no use having a gun player if he's playing half the games of someone else. So, number one on the list, it's in no particular order, but they're all relevant, is the Denver Nuggets, which brings us into Nikola Jokić. They have 2 games in the first week, which is 33% less than nearly every other side, and then they have 3 games in week 2. So 7 games across the first 2 weeks.
5.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's been a big day, mate.
Yeah, it has been.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
2 plus 3 equals 5 to confirm. And that's 2 games less than some other guns.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of points. It's just pure maths. We're not saying he's going to play good, bad, average, middle, anything. Just at that elite level, when you've got some guys like Shea, SGA there, playing 2 extra games over 2 weeks, it adds up pretty quick, and they're much, much cheaper than someone like Nikola Jokić. So he's an avoid for me, along with Jamal Murray. We won't beat down too much into this because I can't wait to get to your team reveal. We spoke about Jokić. There's even the chance of him, well, there's a very good chance he loses some minutes, and he could therefore easily lose some value as well over those opening weeks, which is great.
I think, like we said last week, or the week before that, was I know that he's like the 5th most owned player, and rightfully so. He's one of the greatest of all time, generational. But when you're forking out $28 million for your player, everything needs to be pristine. And the status quo just needs to be perfect. And I think that for that price point, I need my guy playing, like you said, more than those 5 games.
Need max games at least, or pretty close to.
Definitely.
Number 2 is Houston. I've got a note here that says week 12. That's the only thing I've given myself, which means I've got nothing.
Okay.
But I reckon I know exactly what it means. So I checked the schedule here. They're opening 5 weeks. They have 2 2-game weeks and 2 3-game weeks. So it's an absolutely no-go zone. Someone like Armin Thompson, who I'd love to own from the get-go, I can't do it with that schedule. It's woeful. But come week 12, the thing about anyone with a bad early schedule probably means their back-end schedule is outstanding, and Houston's is remarkably good looking at it. So that's what week 12 means. Come week 12, we can jump aboard some Houston Rockets guys and ride them to the sun if we need to. in terms of players, I didn't actually note any down, but yeah, we've got Durant. He's a popular name that people might see and want to jump on. He's older now. He's got injury risk, but just with that schedule, there's no need to take the risk on Houston. LA Clippers, 2 weeks aren't so great. So they go 3 and 2 games. Again, you can't start with that. Like maybe a cheapie. I should caveat this by saying if you've got a cheapie on your bench, doesn't matter. That might be playing. And we spoke in my team reveal. I've got 2 guys who are cheaper who have a 2-game week in round 1. But then their schedule opens up immediately. So it just saves me trades getting them in. So there are reasons to do it, but anyone of value that you need scoring your points, you don't want from the LA Clippers. 3 games, 2 games. Then they go on a tear. 4-4-4, 3-4. So we can look to really get them in if someone's taking off from the Clips there. Portland. There's a few names in Portland this year who I quite like. Danny Avdia, Shaden Sharp, Don Klingon, Drew Holiday's there now. So where are we? I've just lost Portland. They play 3-3-3 the first 3 weeks. So it's not awful, but it's like any of those names, anyone you're going to say, well, with that schedule, I'll jump on anyway. Maybe Danny. Or Sharp.
I may or may not have someone in my
it's almost like we need a team reveal shortly to have a look at that. New York, theirs isn't fantastic either early. 3-3-3-3-3. So it's just, whilst there's nothing horrible, you're just not maximising your potential there. Guys like Karl Anthony Towns, Cat, Jalen Brunson, I just think it's just a wait and see on those guys. There'll be a time that comes and we can look to get them in our sides if they're playing well, but it's not early for mine. San Antonio, first 10 weeks, I'll just hold that because we're going to chat about that in your team reveal. The Wizards, I've lost this totally. Wizards, 3-3-4-3-3. It's not shocking, and there's not a heap of guys from the Wizards, but that's not super enticing when you can get other guys at similar value with 4-week games, multiple early. Again, cheapies on the bench and really undervalued guys, I don't mind as much, but anyone who's going to score you the big points to win you the title, I just don't think you can have them from most of those sides, apart from maybe San Antonio, which takes us into your team reveal. It's what we're all here for.
Yes.
Talk to us about how you set this up, and to explain before we do, still a few days out, so a lot of us will sit there with a couple of variations of a side and go, which way am I going to do it? Because to get one player in, you need to change other things. So that's where it happens. I know people that have especially BBL and stuff and NRL, have 5 or 10 teams, which is way too much for me. Maybe it's in the back of my head, but you've got you've got 3 variations, including a wild card, which would be fun.
Yeah. Well, I've got sort of 2 main variations, and then I guess the wild card could be inserted into either 2. Yep. So, I'm happy that of the ones you listed, I've got no players from the majority of those teams, except for obviously San Antonio, but we're doing it for a generational player.
Yep.
And then one from Portland.
Which isn't shocking, Portland. It's just a bit... No,
that's right. That was
just a bit middling. It's a bit mid.
On the cusp, which I'm prepared to have a few cusps here and there.
I don't mind that.
So I'll preface this, and I'm not saying this is the right way to do it, but I am going to come out swinging because I wanted to build my squad around sort of one very clear philosophy, and that was to maximize starting player points and leave minimal salary cap tied up on the bench.
Yeah, I like that. And I didn't reveal my bench in the previous podcast, but I have looked into it a little bit more. And I now have a bench which I think might be worth a little bit more than yours, though maybe not heaps. Yeah.
You'll kind of see that mine is tragic by some standards, but I'm not. It kind of means I'm not chasing cash generation immediately.
Yep.
And I'm not sort of paying for bench depth, which really every single spare dollar is going to get poured into my starting lineup.
Yeah, and the logic behind that is in NRL and AFL and all these other games, you might have a late out on a Sunday or a Saturday night, whatever it may be, and you go, who's going to come in? And someone will come in for you. In the NBA, it starts Tuesday morning, so by that stage, if you're not overly into it, you're going to need bench cover if you don't want to check sides as much as we do. Mm-hmm. That goes without saying. But for me and you and anyone who's across the late mail and the teams, you can very easily check if someone's hurt. You'll probably get a notification on your phone anyway if you set it up right. Which means if they're hurt, you're going to trade them out anyway because you're unlikely to take someone into the week if they're not playing because that immediately means they might play 3 games, 2 games, or one game, and that hurts you. So that's where your bench can...
That's right.
They might not be needed. The cash gen is a different story. That's what we've got to figure out. But your bench, I can vouch for last year when I played... I don't think I ever used my bench. It could be good on occasions, but as long as you're up to date with the late mail, you'll just transfer your trades across to get out the injured guy.
That's pretty much it. Like, and it requires a little bit of week to week monitoring. But again, if I'm not treating them so much as investments initially, and I'm about okay, I need to run up a score, get as many points on the board early, and plus I got a couple of guys that I think are still going to be value builders anyway. So I'm pretty comfortable with the strategy. But either way, I've got sort of team A, that's like premium heavy, safer build, and then a team B, which kind of pivots into more sort of aggressive upside, swinging at a few breakout candidates.
All right, should we start team A, and I'll give you my thoughts if I don't like anyone, or if I'm off anyone, or if I love it.
All right.
If I've got nothing to say, I'll let you carry on.
How about this? I'll start by doing it by just like positions.
Position's good because then I can follow down.
Yep, and then I'll do my bench after.
Beautiful.
So, Team A, premium heavy. Now I got a little bit of inspiration. I know that my view has fluctuated. I started at week 1 when we did the podcast, and I sort of said, Shea, incredible, but where does he go from here? Can he go higher? Like, is this the letdown? Does he play it safer? Who knows, right? And then you waxed poetics on Shea on the previous episode. He's in your team. He's even getting captained in your team. So, and I thought more about it, and I think, look, second overall Supercoach scorer in 24-25. I think so. Was he?
Giannis is close on a per game, so
on
could also captain
on total points. On total points.
Total points. I can tell you.
Spot.
Total points. Shea is 2.
Okay.
Giannis 3, Jokić 3.
So,
and even on their averages, they're still the top 3 comfortably.
So, second overall in total points, but most importantly, blew everyone else out of, at his position out of the water. Almost 600 points clear, the next, which is a 27% gap. And I think that gap matters because, it's about relative advantage, really, if you're holding Shea while, your league mate is scraping by on a 20% less for their top guard. That's going to compound every week.
Know what else is massive? And I've just thought of this on the run. Shea typically doesn't miss many games. We know injuries can happen to anyone. That goes without saying. But typically, you want guys in your premium who can rely on to typically play most games because they play half a game and then get hurt, and your top value guy scores you 10 points for the week. That is not good. So that's where that durability factor does come in absolutely, because once they've played 10 minutes, you can't trade them for another week and you're stuck with them.
That's right.
Which is not ideal, whereas Shea, he typically plays a lot of games, so that's always good.
Yeah, I just sort of mulled it over and I thought, at that $22 million price point, he's a walking lock for 30 points per game, shooting 50% from the floor every night, and then unlike a lot of the high usage guards, he actually adds value in stocks. So
exactly.
I think that there's, I don't really see a reason for that to change significantly. Maybe he doesn't reach the highs of last season necessarily, but he's, like you said, he's efficient, he's durable, and hopefully OKC improves. I think that he could end up being a set and forget, like you said. I've changed my opinion.
Good, adaptable.
Yes, that's
not too stubborn. I like it.
So, hey, mate, like I said, I've got strong views held lightly. So best information is going to win. So I had him as my starting point guard, in my point guard position. Now the next one, I'm not going to bang on too much because we've definitely done this to death. But Luka Doncic, 19.4 mil. It's criminal not to. He was already undervalued when we first looked at him, and now with LeBron out for the first month, I think he is just an absolute must-have. When early season momentum matters, he's as must-pick as it gets, really.
Very good.
Anchor for every structure. Moving on to shooting guards. So again, I've spent a lot of money here, so I'm already spending, we're already at 40 mil across those two guys. But worthwhile investments, I think.
Nice.
Jaylen Brown, shooting guard.
Yes.
This is a ceiling pick for me. With Tatum out most of the year, I think it's his chance to prove that he can be the main man. People have already been saying that about him when they're on the floor together. He's capable of it.
Yep.
And I think this is the one. This is the season where we could really, really, begin to see that come to fruition.
Yeah, he's pretty cheap, isn't he?
Well, for 13.9 mil, and we're talking about a guy that's capable of averaging 27, 5, and 5 in their role. I mean, you're essentially buying his ceiling for a mid-price tag. If he even delivers close to those numbers, he'll be one of the best value players in the game.
Yeah, I'm off to get him in.
Yeah. I knew I'd convince you with one of these guys. So Jaylen Brown. Then now I need to go a bit cheaper. I'm spending a lot of money here.
Yep,
I need to pare back. So Reed Shepherd, Houston.
Interesting.
$4 million.
He's on my bench, which we will reveal later. It's not the biggest thing, but he is on my bench, so I do like him. But a starting shooting guard, okay?
Yeah, this is more of a cash cow, but still important. Houston are crowded, right? And they've got KD, Thompson, Sengun, but Shepherd is projected to start, and he's cheap. So I think the bar is low. He just needs to get on the court. If he's logging starter minutes, he becomes maybe one of the most useful cheap guards in the game, potentially. 5
games in the first 2 weeks.
Again,
starting in your side, that's the concern, isn't it?
Look,
with that iteration of your team.
That's right. This is I'm spending a lot of money, and you're about to hear it's going to get worse on my spending.
Nice.
So I need to make some concessions.
Yeah, well, you have to. You can't have all the big dogs and just keep it going. Now, worth mentioning, I've just confirmed this since last pod, but yes, your lowest score of the week drops out every week.
So,
which is great in theory, except if someone gets hurt for you early in the week, because then you would have potentially a low Reed Shepherd score, potentially, and the injured player. So you're going to have to take one of the low scores. But if the rest of your side can just go okay or decent, then he drops out and you're cheering.
With this version of my side, it's a risk I might have to take. If I move on to centers, need I say more? Victor Wemby is a lock. He speaks for himself. I don't really need to spell it out. There's a small injury worry. He's still growing. I know San Antonio will probably be cautious at times. I've considered stashing a cheap backup, but for me, I'm high on him. Could be an emotional pick, but he's a buy now, hold all year player. Closest thing to cheat code in this format, I think, with what he's going to do on the defensive end. So I've got him in there for 21.86 mil. Again, spending a lot of money, but we're going big.
For what it's worth, I don't hate it. I'm just concerned over that opening schedule. If you want to lock him in long term, I agree. I think he'll make money. He'll score phenomenally.
Yeah.
The San Antonio schedule sees them play 9 3-game weeks in the first 10.
Yes.
So there's not many, there's no 2s, there's no 5s, there's not a lot of fluctuation, but it's only one time in those 10 weeks you get 4 games from Wemby. So for me, I can't do it. What I could do, if I look at someone like in my side, I've got Giannis there. His opening month for the Bucks is 3-3, 4-4. Wemby is 3-3, 3-4. So the opening 4 weeks of basketball, Wemby only plays 1 less game than Giannis. So maybe with that upside, like elevation, money making, taking that ultra leap, I could put in Wemby.
Maybe.
Slightly cheaper.
Maybe. Yes.
Gets 1 less game over 4 weeks, which it's hardly catastrophic, but I do think come week 5, Wemby will be a sell. I think we'll be sitting here and going, even if he's doing what you think he's doing, he'll have made his cash and go, there's better. But that's fine.
I'm okay with that optionality.
That's fine.
Because again,
and you might be talking me into doing the same thing because he is exciting.
He is, but we're looking at, when we're talking about generational talents like Nikola, and we're like, okay, you make concessions, right? But then there's that $28 million price tag. If I can get Wemby, also generational, $7 million less for his breakout year, or the best year that he's going to have, I'll go there. I think that at 21.8 mil, I think for a guy that averages 35 a game, sell him for however many millions we can make on top of that over that first 5 weeks.
I kind of like it long term, just that opening month. Maybe Giannis is in the crosshairs. I was just about to say to you, I'm actually going to captain Giannis week 1. Now it could be entirely cut.
Hold on. Don't change too much about it. Just hear me out, because I don't want to sway you too much, because I've gone and made a big move.
Well, this is how ruthless it is. I've gone from in to captain to cut within 5 minutes. It's all happening in preseason.
It is. So we get to small forwards now.
Yep.
This is one of my favorite picks for Team A.
Okay.
And a player that you like, but he's on your list of so-so.
Yeah.
Advia.
Yes, Danny.
Yes.
I love him. I had him in draft last year. I owned him in this for the whole back end of the comp.
How can you not? Last year he averaged 17, 7, and 4 on 48% from the field. But, in that last 13 games of the season.
It's insane.
Oh, my gosh. He was, averaging 27 and 11. You strip out, Simons and Scoot Henderson, who was like sidelined to start the season. And I think Portland are looking, for Advia and Sharp to sort of carry the offensive load massively. One thing to note is, I don't know if have you ever seen those, the NBA.com do a preseason poll of GMs, the anonymous GMs.
Love it.
So Advia was voted one of the most likely players to break out by GMs.
This year. On top of last year's, I would call it a breakout as well. So it's like the double breakout.
Right. And that stuff I pay attention to because I'm always like, okay, well, that means he would be an attractive piece in trade talks and all sorts of things. But, he's efficient, versatile. I think with Drew Holiday alongside him, he'll also be creating for teammates, add in the potential sort of for a mid-season trade. And he could be one of the most underpriced, breakout candidates in the game. He's only 13 mil.
His scores are insane.
13 mil. I think that is an absolute potential steal. So he's going to be starting for me. And I think I've got good value there. I think he could massively go up in price, particularly over the first several weeks. Straight on to Ace Bailey. Now, already yapped enough about him the last couple of weeks, particularly in that first week when I said that I almost had him higher than Cooper Flagg for someone you want to get in your team.
Yeah.
But, at 4.8 mil, this is like a no risk pick essentially. Yep. Like he's the kind of guy who's not going to kill you even if he's average, but if Utah's situation gets worse, he could explode. A market and trade, anything, who knows? So for 4.8 mil, a cheapie but a great one. Power forwards. Giannis.
Okay.
So I brought Giannis in 24 mil.
Yep. In the power forward position.
Yes. Again, I know that we said it was a little bit precarious, but
I like it. I love it.
Third leading Supercoach scorer overall. He's going to be a bit of a one-man band this year.
It's consistent too. Just his game attracts consistency.
We have the turnovers and missed shots concern, and that could go up. But something I forgot to mention in episode 1, or maybe I did and I can't remember.
Yep.
But Miles Turner, with him in the team, he's a legit floor stretching big, which means Giannis doesn't have to settle for so many threes. Mm-hmm. And if Giannis plays inside more, his efficiency rises, those missed shot deductions fall, and I think his net fantasy value is just going to climb.
I like it.
So I know there's that off court, volatility. But when I thought about it more and I let it marinate, I figured if there was ever a time to perform, it's going to be in that first month or so where he'll go hard, balls to the wall. So now for 24 mil, so now in my team, in my starting lineup, I've got Giannis, I've got Wemby, I've got Luka, and I've got Shea so far.
That's exciting.
Big.
The primo side.
I've gone big. So then my other power forward, Dylan Brooks.
Oh,
I know, random. This is a role pick. Okay, 8.29 mil. He'll start the season with minutes. He's got a bit of a higher floor thanks to his effort and defense.
Yep.
Which I like, and he's never going to be a ceiling guy. But at this price, I just need him to give me 20 steady minutes and not burn me, which I'm praying for. The downside is he could be trade bait maybe later in the year, but that's fine. He's sort of just here to balance the cap.
You'll flip him before then.
Yeah, balance the cap, buy me time. And then lastly, before I get to my bench, flex, none other than the no-brainer Cooper Flagg.
Yep.
5 mil.
Nice.
Top pick in the draft. Again, I don't know if he's going to be with my team for the whole year, but he's definitely going to get opportunities to start for at least the foreseeable future. And at this price, automatic lock for me.
Done and done, 100%.
So I've spent a considerable amount of money there. It doesn't leave a lot for my bench, but I'll sort of rattle it off anyway for you. Just Nikola Jokić.
Yep.
So not Jokić, Jokić. Much cheaper. 3.5 mil. Basement price point guard, effectively a handcuff to Shea. At that price point, can't really go wrong. I think he's a lottery level talent who's slipped in the real draft because of injury concerns. He's going to miss the first couple of weeks with a knee injury, so it's sort of a run the gauntlet situation if you want him. But again, I'm just trying to balance my money.
Fair.
Igor Demon from Brooklyn, 4.65 mil. He's in the Reed Shepherd mold, who cheap starting point guard. Starting guard potential and a top 10 draft pick. So, he's already got a minor injury worry. Again, it's not ideal. And Brooklyn are in full rebuild.
What about Dylan Harper at shooting guard bench instead? What do you think of him in San Antonio? Especially Fox is injured as well.
You know what? I think the only reason is that Dylan Harper's price was that 4.8.
It was like 100K or something.
But, mate, I can't.
You just can't do it.
That 100, 200K, I need to be. I'm scraping.
Yeah, I'm definitely cutting my whole bench later just to see what I can do to my starting lineup.
It's tough, but he's under 5 mil, only 4.65. He plays 25, 30 minutes. He's filling the box score. I can only hope and pray. Then quickly Xavier Tillman at center, 3.65. Again, cheapest center I could find.
I love Tillman when he actually plays.
Yes. I do too.
He's like points per minute are good.
Yes.
And his chance, Boston are pretty decimated up top there, so maybe.
Yeah. And then Prosper for 3.5 mil. He's just a classic placeholder minimum price. And lastly, Jalen Williams, 3.5. Another minimum price filler, but with a bit more upside than the others. He's sort of already proven that, given minutes, he can put up some sort of relevant lines here and there. And again, those OKC big men injury risks mean that, who knows, maybe he gets a run. So that is the wrap for my
Primo team.
I've
got some envy, I'll tell you that.
I mean, it's an exciting one. It's one that you can definitely get behind. The way that I won't harp on this too long, so we can get to the next bit. But essentially, my team B really more or less stays about the same with just a couple of changes.
Some variations.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this one keeps the same structure, but it's just going to pivot in a few key spots. I sacrifice Shea's security again because he was one from the beginning where I was a bit like,
yep,
I could do without. I see the merit in what you're saying, and then on the other hand, I'm also like, do I think that he can go to that next level or even maintain? I'm not 100% sure. So free up cash and reinvest in breakout candidates with a bit higher upside. So first one, Shea out, Nembhard.
Yep. Massive opportunity with
Halliburton
gone.
Sideline, and now McConnell out for a month.
Oh, they're both out, of course. Yes.
So he has the keys, and he's already being mentioned in most improved conversations. So in 34 preseason minutes so far, he's had 19 points, 10 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 steals, shooting 47%. I think at $9 million, he's incredible value. I think that's a serious steal, not even needing to crack.
Oh, he's shooting guard as well. That could be.
Yep.
I've got Pajemski, but he's got to be an option.
Yeah.
He's starting.
You got to think.
He's starting. His hands on the ball a lot.
So I freed up a lot of money now, with that switch. And now I can afford to spend in a few other areas. So I'm upgrading Ace Bailey to Jaden McDaniels in this version of the team.
Ace to Jaden?
Yes. So that's $10.78 million spent on him.
Don't like it.
Don't like it?
No.
Let me make my case.
Yep, case. And then who's he played for again now? He's at Minnesota?
Yep. So he quietly averaged sort of a career high last year. It was 12.2 points.
Yep.
And he sort of fills the stat sheet in other areas. But then he really stepped it up for the playoffs. He elevated to 15 points per game.
Yeah, okay.
And then had a couple of big games there where he was sort of carrying. He's their best rim finisher in transition. And Minnesota are going to give him more creative freedom. Think like pick and rolls with Gobert, more on ball reps. He finished last season 70% around the rim. His career, he's at 76%, insanely high.
Yep.
At 10.8 mil, he's a high floor, medium upside guy, safer than Bailey, and I think plays a bigger role with Minnesota this year. I'm quietly excited.
Okay. When you mount a fair case, my concern around him, I've owned him a few times in draft leagues in the past, just off the wire and that, in and out. He's that kind of guy. I don't mind him. My concern would be, can he add enough value to warrant that selection at 10 mil over someone like Ace, who you know is going to make money, but maybe not as reliable? Would Ace still be? He'd be on your bench, I imagine, this version.
Yes. So I'll tell you what I've done because I've got a couple of options.
Okay. Yep. Carry on.
So Ace, bring in Jaden, who I think can be pretty big, and then I've gone and substituted. Again, I've got more cash to spend. Dylan Brooks out, Sengun in.
Love that.
Now, this is a big one. Sengun is basically a mini Jokić, in my opinion. And I know we said that about Luka, but this is in the more traditional sense.
He actually is, yeah.
Yes. He's already sort of, we don't need to harp on him. He does everything in the right way.
And his assists are through the roof in preseason.
First 2 preseason games, 19 assists.
Yeah, that's insane.
So he dominated Eurobasket.
I feel like he's going to take a leap. He's a leap guy.
I think so too.
Their schedule is horrific. That's the concern.
That is a bit of a concern. I'm hoping it makes up for the fact that if this is his breakout year, and
cover that.
And KD is, pacing himself or gets injured or any number of things, he's just going to get more opportunities. He's going to.
Yeah, he's such a classic bad schedule, but the upside is there. I think he's going to get better. He's just going to grow up a bit more.
Yeah.
How old is Sengun? He would be old.
Good question.
He is
mid-20s.
23.
23. I thought
he's going to grow up more.
Yeah.
He's just going to.
He's pricier, but this is sort of where the Shea Nembhard downgrade kind of pays for itself, in my opinion.
Yep. Okay.
And then the last one is because I need to save a bit more cash. I had to substitute Igor Demon and bring in Pat Spencer from Golden State. So purely cap saving move. I needed another $1 million to make the Sengun McDaniels work.
Yep.
So it's just a base price filler. But again, we've already talked about Warriors' injury risks. With
what position is this in your side?
He's a guard. He's a guard. So yeah.
All right. I'm liking Team A more so far, but carry on.
I can understand that. I'm looking for. It was really an opportunity to bring again Sengun in, which I thought would be big, and Nembhard and get some value, somewhere else.
Yeah, no, that's fair as well.
So that's where I'm kind of looking on the Team B side, and then my wild card. This is the last thing I'll add to this.
Yep.
Because I know I've been a little bit long-winded, but
that's right. It's your ep today. It's your reveal.
The wild card where you could basically substitute him, but you could do Advia or McDaniels on either team. So Advia team 1, you substitute him for this guy, or McDaniels, which you might be in favour of, in order to keep team B intact with the one pick that you didn't really like. Brandon Miller.
Yes.
Your Charlotte Hornets.
Yes.
He's
back from injury.
Yes, missed time last year, but he's
got him at 50 in my draft, so I sure hope he erupts. Small forward, shooting guard, 12 mil.
Yes,
yeah.
Believer, 12.1 mil.
Yes.
So he averaged 21, 5, 3.5. His percentages weren't great, but that's because he was sort of forced into the number 1 option role with LaMelo out, taking some tough shots. But this year, LaMelo back. He gets to slide into a secondary scorer role. That means better looks, higher efficiency. I think he's just
less turnovers.
I think a smoother fantasy profile.
Yep.
So with that 12.1, he's about $1 mil cheaper than Advia, which is kind of where it gets interesting. That $1 mil, could fund another upgrade elsewhere. I was thinking again, some of the upgrades that I would be open to is taking that money, taking one of the crappier guys that I have on the bench, and turning him back into Ace Bailey.
Yes.
So That's what I'm looking at.
That's where your head's in a good spot. I do that with NRL. I always land on here's my side, but if I do this, I can do this.
Yes.
And there's just a couple of variations you can sit on.
You have to kind of branch out like that in order to get sort of your head around it in the best way. But
my power forward spot is wide open because I've just been making a few little tinkers as you speak.
Well, when I came to my captaincy, I was going to captain Giannis to start, and then my vice captain was going to be Luka.
Yep.
So
Luka's the other captaincy option week one, because they all play 3 games. Mm-hmm. The good schedule kicks in the week after that.
Yeah.
You know what I've done?
Yeah.
Giannis to Wemby, just for now, just have a look at it.
What does that do for you?
Who was my power forward? It was Banchero. He's gone down to Danny Avia, which I think, is his role of late last season essentially intact? Is it much different? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be bigger to start the season.
Yeah, because he just does everything.
Mate, he again so talented. I'm a believer. I wanted to find a way to get him into my team. I guess sacrificing him for Miller to pocket the mill. It's a tough one. It probably makes more sense to do for McDaniels. But man, I love it. I think he was my favorite pick in Team A.
I think I'm going to have to start with him because
I've talked to him.
I love him.
Yeah, okay.
Portland's schedule was okay to start.
It's got to check 3-3-3-3. That's okay.
3-3-3, but then 4-4-3-4.
I think that's
But I could just get him around 4.
You could.
But does he blow out to 17 mil by then? That's a concern. So that's our balance thing here. It's like, sure, schedule's great and it's everything with regards to points, but if you then miss someone who's 4 million more expensive, it's a total guess. I don't know what he's going to be at, but that's when it can hurt you going schedule only. So there is that balance, which is good because you can't just purely focus on the schedule. But Danny in and Wemby, and then I did a little bench downgrade or two. I've got 8 million left.
8 million?
Yes.
Wow.
What could I do with it? So many options.
We can't bank it, so...
Yeah, I know. I'll have a little squiz. But my bench at the moment is Dylan Harper, Reed Shepherd, Xavier Tillman, Nurple from Charlotte, and Jalen Williams. I can obviously upgrade with 8 mil, but I don't mind your theory of just going, as long as those guys are playing and maybe making a little bit of cash.
How much... so you got 8 million. What was your other worst player in your starting lineup right now?
Ace Bailey.
Okay,
so I could flip him to the bench and I could get someone for...
Who's next worst?
I could get a Brandon Miller or someone.
After
someone like a Pajemski, but early season schedule I like.
Okay.
But I could upgrade him. What I really want to do is try and get Giannis back in, but I don't think it's not that far off. I'll see if I can work it in.
Yeah, well, you're cooking now. I mean,
I do want Giannis.
You wouldn't be going wrong with, from what I remember about your team, if Pods got upgraded with that 8 mil.
Yep.
That's not the worst option, given that we don't have 150% clarity on his role.
Yeah, there's a bit of risk. I could also put Luka up into the guards.
That's
which means Pod would be flex essentially, and gives me 18 million. I'm not that far off. Evan Mobley is someone I want. Cleveland, good early schedule, consistent as well.
Interesting about Evan Mobley, when they did the GM survey,
what'd they say?
They said that the best power forward in the league, it was 93% Giannis, 7% Evan Mobley. That was the selection.
Interesting.
So
very good.
Everyone loves him.
Full preseason.
Everyone loves him. Yeah.
Let me just see here.
He was pretty good last year. He's a defensive player of the year candidate all the time, in my opinion. Yeah.
Just see here. No, it'll take too long. I've got 8 mil. So we'll see what I can do with it. Mate, that might do us.
Yeah.
Appreciate the night. NBA's close. Looking forward to it. We're going to have to get on that WhatsApp and start talking some teams. So we'll set you up after this. But appreciate it, mate. We're underway and it's going to be awesome once the season actually gets underway.
It's going to be a good one. Looking forward to it.
This week's shirt was Devin Booker. I've got a new jersey every week.
How long are you going to be able to keep the trend up for?
I've got
indefinitely.
I've got about 10 or 11.
Okay.
So
all right.
I might be able to get a couple of new ones.
Once you finish, we might have to switch and I start my one. Yeah.
Okay. Happy days, mate.
Yeah. Nice.
All right. Thanks everyone for listening. Almost season tip off. Ready to rumble. Cheers.